Sunset. Today I was coming down to the river just to spend some time. Find some smudge stones. Pray a little and find some peace. So I'm shooting this with my phone today instead of my regular camera and equipment. Trying to make the videos better for you. Today I want to talk about time, and I'm going to do it in how I generally counsel. I'm going to do the walk and talk. So bear with me. The camera might get a little shaky from time to time, but I prefer the walk and talk. I talk better. I concentrate. Thoughts come clear when my body is active. Before, I've gotten criticized because when I facilitate, I tend to move around a lot. You know, you're supposed to stay in the front of the class. Don't go beyond a certain point. You know, eye contact with everybody. Fortunately, when you're doing the walk and talk, it's not possible to have eye contact all the time. I suffer from ADHD. I can't stand still. I fidget. And I understand those that can't either. And that's why, like when I'm running workshops, I allow people to doodle. If their body is engaged in another activity, it gives their brain the opportunity to comprehend what's being said. If they're all fidgety, their brain is on escape. I gotta get the hell out of here. When I work with people doing trauma work or counseling or what have you, I give them stress balls that they can squeeze. I give them grandfathers that they can hold in their hand. Some people call them worry stones, you know, where you can rub your thumb and your fingers against a stone. Anyways, enough about why I'm doing a walk and talk. Where is it? Maybe that's the reason I'm out here today, is to talk about that. You know, we have so many kids and adults with issues. You know, can't sit still, fidget, things like that. I'm constantly getting in trouble. And in today's modern society, first thing they say is medicate. Give the kid a pill. Give the adult a pill. Things like that. Our brains are racing. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. And unfortunately, the side effects of the pills create more problems for people. And that's why you see some people won't take the pills, and they end up self-medicating because they can't handle all those thoughts going on in their head at one time. They cause them to move around, different things like that. I've been practicing meditation. I don't do it as often as I should, but you know, I feel better when I do. Actually, that's not true. I guess you could call it meditation. It is meditation. When I come down to the river and I go quiet, and I concentrate on the river flowing by, taking my problems from me, listening to the eagles and the birds that soar above. Yeah, it's meditation. So you see, even an old dog learns new tricks and becomes self-aware. There's an old teaching that says you can only keep what you have by giving it away. I can only keep my inner peace by sharing it with others. I can only keep the knowledge I have by sharing those stories with you, thereby keeping them fresh in my head. And by sharing those stories, I come to new awarenesses, such as just a second ago. You know, my prayer is meditation. Even when I'm by the river, I'm always praying. So I was going to say even when I'm not praying, but I'm always praying when I'm by the water, because I have a water spirit. I love being by the water. You know, This is just out the door, not far from my office. I didn't know it existed. Well, I knew the river was there, but I didn't know I could come down here and walk around like this, and that there was landings I could go out on and stuff. Until today, I happened to come to the office to pick up a few things, and decided to bring my kids with me, and they asked to go to the river. So, you know, our children help us discover new things as well, new awarenesses. They are as much our teachers as we are theirs. You know, we have those children that are, like I said, unruly, can't, you know, they can't stand still, they can't think adequately because they got too many thoughts going on in their heads. And we see parents humiliated or embarrassed because they're afraid of what others think. Some of you may not like what I'm about to say, and cover your ears, cover the kids' ears. Fuck them. And I'm sorry if that offends you. But sometimes that's what you gotta say. You know, your children have the right to be children, and your children have the right to have their needs adhered to, listened to. Your children, your spouse, anybody that has this problem has the right to be listened to, has the right to walk in a good way, be honored, respected, be loved, regardless. The kid that's throwing the tantrum in the grocery store not always is a bad kid, you know. Sometimes their needs are just not being met, and everybody's all quick to, you know, the kid's a problem, you know. No, it's not. You know? Yes, it's in some cases it is the instance of the parents spoiling their child, but in a lot of cases it's a simple fact that the kid has too many things going on in their head, and they fidget, they overreact, different things like that. A lot of the things that cause this: smoking, drinking, drugs, all while pregnant. You know, and you hear those that say, oh, it's okay to drink in the first trimester, just not the second or third, or it's okay to drink in the last, but not the first two. That's the most important growth part. No, it's not important to drink at any time. New studies have shown, too, that it's not always the mother. There's a such thing now as drunk sperm, you know. And your husband may come home drunk one night because he went out with the boys and decide to make love with you, your partner, whatever. And his drunk sperm can have an effect on the child that is. So, ladies, you know, it's not always your fault. It's not always the fault I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, we can live and learn, and listen. We need to listen. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We need to listen to what doctors are telling us, our elders are telling us. It was Chief Dan George that said, allow me to learn your ways so I may combine them with mine, and then outwalk you with my moccasins. We have to learn the ways of modern society. We can't be an either or. I'm not going to be traditional and not be Canadian, or I'm going to be live in the modern world and not be traditional. We're only here as Indigenous people. And I say Indigenous because I hate them for some reason. Me personally, I do not like the term Aboriginal. It bothers me. Don't know why, but it does. But as Indigenous people, we're still here because we overcome, we adapt, we strive. We find how to blend their ways with our ways and honor our teachings. I guess I'm kind of all over the place today. And that's okay too, you know. I've always been taught the Creator sends a message that is meant to be heard or shared. And it comes out the way the Creator wants it to. So, but again, we have to honor those people that fidget and stuff like that. So next time you're around, or you're teaching something or running something, give the kids something to play with. Sit them down, give them a stress ball, give them a grandfather to rub and hold, and teach them about it. Just because they're little doesn't mean they can't understand. Just because they're adults and live that way their whole life doesn't mean they can't change. They can understand themselves and they can grow into themselves. It's kind of another topic. But if you see adults and they are very childlike, they act very childlike. Not always is it a thing of mental health. I find a lot of people in the traditional world that walk traditionally, I find some of them act this way. And me personally, I don't really confront the person, but I'll ask you, what's your traditional name? And a lot of times it has child in it, or the English. In English is child, but whatever nation is various. So Cree, it's Oasis. And one of the teachings that was shared with me is we have 7 fires, 7 stages of life. Through those 7 stages of life, we receive 7 names that carry us through the next stage, based on how we live the last stage, based on who we are spiritually and humanly. But we receive those 7 sacred names. And adults that have a child's name, a traditional child's name, always have that one foot stuck in childhood. And this teaching, for me, I found it to be true in many cultures. I've asked about it, but in some, from what I understand, and I'm not an authority on everything indigenous. Some people disagree with that. Some people say, no, you're given a name and that's your name for life. That's your spirit name. Okay, fine. And that's okay. I honor that. That's your belief. That's your teaching. Great. Who am I to tell you you're wrong? I'm not. I can only honor my teaching, but it will show respect to yours. So, it doesn't make a difference to me whether somebody keeps a child name and acts foolishly, because it doesn't affect me. I got no control over anything external. And that's one of the biggest struggles in life, is we try to control our environment all around us. We try to control everything, and we can't. We may be able to talk, a role model to influence others, but we really have no control. Our control stops once we go outside our bodies. Our control stops once we try to utilize or influence others in wrong ways. So, I have control over what's inside of me. To the extent of my emotions, my thoughts, my everything internally, I have control over. And some people will say, well, I don't have control over my emotions. No, but it is in your ability. It's in your ability of how you interpret things. How have you lived your life? Right? Something causes you to go sad. Well, when was the first time you got sad over that? When was the first time that you can remember being sad over that? Chances are it was quite a while ago, and yet you still interpret it the same way.
So we have to reevaluate how we interpret things as we go through life. This is getting into what I call flip the brain. Changing the way we think about things, the way we interpret things based on the life we've lived. And I will do another video about that. But for today, I've kind of gone all over the place. But I felt the need to share this in a good and kind, gentle way. Love and peace, my brothers and sisters. And may your journey be strong and your walk be soft. Hi, hi.